Chapter 13 Return to the Village. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Food, clothing, housing and transportation, the last three are completed, only clothes are left. System, do you sell clothes? Kai Wenjie asked the system unintentionally. Yes. Yes, if you don't sell, then you can only go again, huh? System, what did you say? Kai Wenjie asked in surprise. Diamond suit. Report to the chief. Combat uniforms are also considered clothing, so they can be purchased in the equipment options. After listening to the system's explanation, Kai Wenjie opened the equipment options in the store, and after flipping through a few pages, he did see the combat uniforms the system mentioned, a full set of individual tactical equipment Type 1, including tactical helmets, tactical camouflage uniforms, bulletproof vests, stab-proof clothing, tactical flashlights, military night vision goggles, military water bottles, etc. 2,000 points per set, not bad, although a bit expensive, but it's worth it. Kai Wenjie nodded with satisfaction, but he can't afford it now. After all, he didn't have enough points. He spent 2,320 points before, so he only had 680 points left. If he had known, he would have bought this set first. In addition, Kai Wenjie actually saw military tents, bedding and toiletries. The more Kai Wenjie looked, the more he felt something was wrong. It was too complete. Finally, Kai Wenjie couldn't help asking the system. Wait a minute, can all military-related products be purchased from you? Kai Wenjie asked the system helplessly, because there is a kind of food called military rations, and the system is not the system version of the Armed Forces Department. Kai Wenjie regretted it a little, and it seemed that he had prepared too early. Forget it, I don't have too many points now anyway, so these are just early investments. Kai Wenjie used this reason to cover up his carelessness. It seems that Kai Wenjie has not seriously understood the system since his rebirth. Taking advantage of his free time now, he thoroughly flipped through the system store. It has everything. Kai Wenjie can only say that it has everything. It has proven that the system is the Armed Forces Department in the form of a system, and the system with military fur is sold. Even turning to the back, Kai Wenjie has seen the single soldier mecha exoskeleton mechanical armor, and the price is as high as 10 million, 10,000 mutant zombies, 100,000 ordinary zombies, or 20 tons of gold. He can't even sell them to make up. Kai Wenjie felt more and more tired, so he simply turned off the system and went to bed. The next day, Kai Wenjie got up on time at 7 o'clock. A new year, a new century. Yesterday was the best sleep Kai Wenjie had in the past 10 years of the apocalypse. No need to worry about the harassment of survivors or the attacks of zombies. It is simply too luxurious to sleep peacefully. Kai Wenjie stretched, left the bed, went to the bathroom, washed his face and brushed his teeth in one go. This is the voice of his mother in the kitchen. Come and eat after washing your face. Today I'm making your favorite millet porridge with tea, eggs and buns. Your dad bought them for you at the morning market. Eat them while they're hot. Come on, Mom and Dad, you guys eat too. Kai Wenjie came to the dining table and sat on it. He first picked up 2 buns for his parents. After his parents took a bite, Kai Wenjie started eating. It's really delicious when it's fresh out of the oven. Thank you for your hard work, Dad. After listening to Kai Wenjie's thanks, Kai Shofu nodded and said, as long as you like it. By the way, when I went to the morning market today, I found a car that looked like an armored vehicle parked downstairs. It looked quite domineering. Kai Shofu mentioned to Kai Wenjie that he saw the car when he went to the morning market, and his tone was a little envious. Ah, the full name of that car is Night 15. It's my car. Dad, you can try it later. Kai Wenjie said amazing words in a calm tone. What? Son, are you sure you're not kidding? I think that car is very expensive, we can't afford it. Kai Wenjie put down his chopsticks and said seriously. I'm not kidding, Dad, it will be my car from now on. I rented it from a good man at a low price. If you like, try it when we return to the village later. Li Fengjin was confused, but she didn't say anything because she believed in her son. Kai Shofu was laughing now. After all, a car is like one of a man's most precious treasures. It's satisfying to be able to get such a good car. Kai Wenjie said that there is a car similar to the night parked in the village, so there is no need to be surprised. By the way, Mom, are you ready for your luggage? Don't worry, it's all ready. We plan to stay for a month this time. The clothes and other things are ready. Put the luggage in the trunk of the car later. Li Fengjin nodded to indicate that everything was ready and it only needed to be put in the trunk of the car. And I just prepared your luggage. Kai Wenjie was surprised. After all, he had just washed his face and brushed his teeth, and he had prepared his luggage. How fast was his hand speed? This breakfast ended with Kai Wenjie's surprise, Kai Shofu's happiness, and Li Fengjin's calmness. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Kai Wenjie had already moved all the luggage down. Seeing Kai Shofu sitting in the driver's seat moving here and there, he couldn't help laughing. Then Kai Wenjie opened the trunk door. The rear door of the Night 15 was not flipped up like other cars, but opened like an ordinary car door. After stuffing the luggage inside, Kai Wenjie closed the trunk door, and then opened the rear door to let Li Fengjin, who was standing next to him, get into the car. The interior space of the Night 15 is large enough for people to stretch their legs and half lying. Okay, drive, Dad. Take your time and don't rush. I know. Your dad is an experienced driver with more than 10 years of driving experience. Just sit back and relax. In this way, with Kai Shofu driving carefully, the family left the community and rushed to the village. Looking at Kai Shofu's cautious driving, Kai Wenjie couldn't help but say, Dad, this car is not as fragile as you think. Unless it is the kind of excavator, my car is not afraid at all. And the glass of this car is bulletproof glass. You can drive it with confidence. After hearing his son's words, Kai Shofu drove normally with peace of mind, and the speed was increased to normal speed. 30 minutes later, after passing the gorge, they finally arrived at the village. Because it was still morning, the old people in the village gathered together to chat or play chess, and they talked about the vehicles coming to the village. Has anyone seen that kind of car? Whose son has made it big? I don't know, I haven't seen it, but speaking of cars, I heard the sound of a truck last night, and I went out to see something parked at old Kai's house, but I couldn't see it clearly because it was too far away. Hearing you say that, I remembered that when I passed by old Kai's house in the morning, I found a car similar to that one parked in his yard, both equally powerful. It seems that old Kai has made it big, and old Kai and his wife will definitely be very happy if they know about it. Yes, unlike the one in my family, he still doesn't have a wife, and he's so worried every day at home. The person who said this was an old woman in her 60s. Chapter 14, Outbreak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Amid the discussion in the village, the car drove into Kai's house. After Kai Shofu parked the car, he also saw Zhang Dun parked next to him. Kai Shofu pointed at Zhang Dun and looked at Kai Wenjie. Yes, this is mine too. Dad, please take your time and take a look. As Kai Wenjie's father, Kai Shofu chose to believe him. He got out of the car without saying anything, handed the key to Kai Wenjie, walked around the edge of the battle shield and began to raise and lower his hands. Kai Wenjie shook his head speechlessly, turned around and took his luggage from the trunk, followed Li Fengjin to the door of the house, got the key from under the flower pot and opened the door. Li Fengjin looked inside the room and felt strange. It's a little strange that there's no dust in this house for so long. Could it be a burglar? Li Fengjin said a little scared, but he didn't think about it. Would it be so clean if there was a thief? Mom, stop thinking about it. I came to clean it yesterday to avoid making you suffer today. After listening to his son's explanation, Li Fengjin breathed a long sigh of relief and then said movedly. My son has grown up and learned to be filial. My mother is so happy. Li Fengjin was about to wipe her tears as she spoke. Seeing that her mother was about to cry, Kai Wenjie became a little anxious. Kai Wenjie hated tears the most, and this person was still his mother. Mom, don't cry. Come and help me pack my luggage. I'm going to see Dad. After speaking, Kai Wenjie ran away. When he left the room, he found his father still looking at the car. He walked over and took out the key to the battle shield from the system and handed it over. Come on Dad, try it. Kai Shofu took the key without courtesy, opened the car door, got in, and then moved his hands up and down. Seeing his father's indecent behavior, Kai Wenjie shook his head and laughed, then stopped caring. Look at the time, it's 10 a.m., it was going to be lunch soon, and Kai Wenjie remembered that he didn't seem to have bought any groceries. After thinking about it for a while, Kai Wenjie discussed it with his mother, picked up the car keys, got into the Cavalier, and went to buy groceries. It's already 12 o'clock when I got back from buying vegetables at the market. Kai Wenjie went to the market and bought a lot of vegetables, meat, and seasonings. Of course, most of them were stored in the system space. After all, time will not pass in the system space. What you put in will be what you took out after a while. It works better than a refrigerator, although most of them are placed in the system. There are already a lot of them just placed outside. After all, unlike Southerners who only buy one meal at a time, Northerners buy their portions for a week and a month. Today alone, Kai Wenjie bought a truckload of vegetables, mainly cabbage and radish, not counting system space, a frozen cow, not counting system space, 5 frozen pigs, not counting system space, and chicken, duck, and fish, not counting system space. Vegetables and meat were all put in the cellar. A cellar is built by taking advantage of the thermal inertia of the soil. Generally, a round or square hole or pit is dug underground according to the depth of the underground water layer. Pay attention to the installation of safety equipment such as waterproofing, moisture-proofing and ventilation. You can also store wine and some old things. In the winter in the north, cellars are natural refrigerators, so there is no need to worry about spoilage. The vegetables in the cellar can generally be eaten until spring next year. Each family has its own differences, but they are basically the same. By now, Kai Wenjie's funds have almost been spent. Mom, come and see what I bought. Let's have something good for lunch. Here you go, I bought so much, can you finish it? Li Fengjin asked with eyes wide as he looked at the big truck in front of him. It's okay. I'll just put them all in the cellar. Don't worry about corruption. Then Kai Wenjie directed the laborers who came with the truck to start unloading the things. Son, it seems like we can't have anything good for lunch, so let's just eat. Let's have something good in the evening. Li Fengjin looked at the truck full of vegetables and meat and felt a little headache. It does take an hour just to unload all of this. It's already past noon, so we can only deal with it. By the time the cargo was unloaded, it was already 1 o'clock in the afternoon. In another hour, the real apocalypse would occur in Country M on the other side of the sea. After Kai Wenjie settled his wages, the truck driver took the laborers and left. In the restaurant on the first floor, Kai Shofu and Li Fengjin were setting dishes. After a simple lunch, the whole family went to the living room on the second floor to rest. As for Kai Wenjie, he has turned on the TV and deliberately tuned it to the news station. In half an hour, the zombie virus will officially break out in Country M. The aforementioned reporters from Country M will also use the global channel to warn the world. Kai Wenjie remembers that the capital of Country M officially declared its fall 4 hours after the zombie virus broke out. At the same time, the World Health Organization, WHO, announced that it had confirmed the zombie virus and informed them that the virus was a bodily fluid infection and that contact with infected people should be avoided. Now Kai Wenjie is silently waiting for news from the other side of the sea, until he inadvertently tells his parents the news of the end. Half an hour passed quickly, and after a burst of snowflakes, a signal from the other side of the sea appeared on the TV in front of Kai Wenjie. A standard American man appeared on the TV screen speaking something in fluent English, and at the same time, subtitles began to appear below. Hello, my name is Kate Smith. I am a reporter affiliated with XX newspaper. Today I want to announce a big news to you. I want to expose the crimes of Future Gene Company. Future Gene Company is manufacturing a certain biochemical virus agent. This virus can resurrect the dead. Yes, you heard it right. This virus can resurrect the dead, but this virus can resurrect people. Human, no. The person who was resurrected is no longer a human. It's a zombie. They are just like the zombies in the movies, they only have the desire to eat, they have no humanity and only know how to eat, and the food they eat is people, Kate Smith said in horror. And once they are bitten or scratched by these zombies, they will become man-eating monsters like other zombies in less than a minute. They are not as slow as the zombies in the movies, their speed is no different from that of ordinary people, and only headshots can completely kill them. And now there is a virus leak in the laboratory where they make and study the virus, and all the people inside have become zombies. I am now in a mansion not far from this laboratory, and I have been monitoring the laboratory here. Kate Smith said as she moved the camera to the laboratory. See, they are eating people. About 100 meters away, there are 3 people in white coats sitting together eating something on the other side of the camera. After a closer look, it is found that there is a person surrounded by the 3 zombies. The zombie who was feasting on the food seemed to sense being sighted. He raised his head suddenly, his face covered with sticky blood, his mouth so big that it was almost pulled to the back of his cheek, and a small piece of uneaten intestine hanging on his bared teeth. A few drops of blood were still dripping from the intestine, and his white coat was already covered with blood plasma. Chapter 15 Little White Mouse. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing the scene on the TV, Li Fengjin leaned against Kai Shofu in fear but still kept watching the TV with one eye exposed. Kai Wenjie's face was filled with questions. Are you giving me dog food? Why are you stuffing me with dog food when you are so serious? Tired of heart, Kai Wenjie turned his attention back to the TV screen. In the picture, he began to observe the zombies around him, and continued to chew on the intestines in his hand when he found nothing. The vision of zombies is similar to that of patients with severe myopia. After more than 20 meters, they can no longer see anything clearly. They are all a mosaic, so zombies rely more on hearing than sight. In fact, Kate Smith misunderstood. The research institute was not studying viruses but strengthening agents, it's just that a certain researcher's mistake caused the strengthening potion to mutate, which is the root cause of all this. Just then a loud noise began to appear on the screen. The U.S. Army finally arrived belatedly, with several military trucks and armored vehicles, and armed helicopters flying in the sky. After the military truck stopped, soldiers wearing gas masks jumped out from behind. It was obviously such a terrifying scene, but the soldiers were not impatient or fearful, but were very calm and quickly prepared for battle. Wingdings, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. Army soldiers wearing gas masks, holding firearms, accurately hit the zombie's head, killing him with one blow. Behind the soldiers, there were also people using flamethrowers to burn the corpses, but they were extremely skilled in handling them, as if they had been practicing for a long time. Kate Smith, who was watching all this, was talking excitedly to the live broadcast. The army is coming. I suspect this is a conspiracy by the military of country M. My God, I'm sure the military is one of the masterminds behind this disaster. Kate Smith, who was telling the screen his point of view, could not help but raise his voice a lot because of the excitement of discovering the secret. At this time, a soldier who was cleaning up the zombies discovered a window on the second floor of the foreign mansion 100 meters away. There is a figure dancing with its hands and feet. Without thinking, the soldier fired a bullet directly at the mansion. Fortunately, the bullet did not hit Kate Smith but hit the camera in his hand, and the picture was interrupted because of this. Kai Wenjie saw the screen switch back to the domestic signal and turned to look at his parents. Mom and Dad, as you can see, there is an outbreak of a virus in the United States that looks exactly like the zombies in the movie. I can assure you that this is not a movie or TV series, but a real disaster. The United States will fall completely soon, and then the same disaster as the video will happen here, but you don't have to worry, I have made preparations. You two just need to stay here with peace of mind, and the rest will be taken care of. Give me. Kai Wenjie guaranteed the authenticity of the video with his parents. If you two don't believe it, you can continue to wait. The World Health Organization, WHO, will soon issue a statement confirming the discovery of the zombie virus, but I only have one request: don't leave the house and don't open the door to anyone. Although Kai Shofu and Li Fengjin still didn't believe it, They nodded and said they would stay at home and not go out. The expression is a little scared and a little unable to accept the reality, and there is also confusion and fear about the future. Kai Wenjie thought for a while and went into the study room to exchange the remaining points for a 500-point pistol and bullets, spending all his last points. The pistol is a QSC-92 semi-automatic pistol, which is also a Type 92 pistol. The firing mode is semi-automatic, and the locking mechanism is barrel rotary. The firing mode is hammer type. The pull rod separate firing mechanism can be fired in single action or linked mode. In addition to the manual safety, there is also a firing pin safety and a drop safety. It has the functions of indicating that there is ammunition in the chamber, displaying the remaining ammunition in the magazine, and hanging the machine when empty. It is equipped with a simple mechanical sight, with fluorescent night aiming point, and is equipped with a laser sight interface, which can be installed with a laser sight. It can hold ammunition. It has a double-row, double-feed 15-round magazine. After buying the gun, the remaining 180 points were replaced with 7 full magazines and the remaining 5 bullets. I first removed the empty magazine from the gun and then installed the full magazine, and the empty magazine. The remaining 5 bullets were also loaded into the magazine. In this way, Kai Wenjie spent all his points. Kai Wenjie returned to the living room with the pistol and magazine and handed it to his father, Kai Shofu, who saw the gun. "Dad, take this and fight out anyone who threatens you and Mom. The weather is about to change now. There are multiple weapons for self-defense. Don't ask me where I got this gun, okay?" Kai's father and mother, who originally wanted to persuade Kai Wenjie not to break the law, finally swallowed their words. "Just said something. Wenjie, Dad and your mom won't interfere with your choice, but I hope you can remember one sentence and stick to the bottom line." After saying these words, Father Kai turned around and started studying the pistol, and Mother Kai also followed suit. "Son, remember what I told you. Mom just wants you to be safe." Kai Wenjie looked at his sensible parents and nodded. Kai Wenjie was very satisfied with his parents' attitude. They were worthy of being his own parents, unlike some people who couldn't listen to advice and would do the opposite. "Dad, come on, let me teach you how to use it." After Kai Wenjie received the pistol from Kai's father, he first unloaded the magazine, then pulled the trigger to check whether there was ammunition loaded. Then he took Kai's father's hand and taught him step by step how to check, aim, shoot and change ammunition. Kai's mother was also watching. Soon, under the guidance of Kai Wenjie, Kai's father understood how to use this gun, because when Kai Wenjie exchanged the gun, he was not thinking about dealing with zombies but humans, so he exchanged for this gun. Readers who have learned about dumb bullets should know the principle of its bullet damage. The special bullet deforms after entering the body, destroying the internal tissues crazily, with significant cavity effect and obvious killing effect. The 92 type pistol bullet can do this, but it does not use the principle of dumb bullets. It uses the long bullet head to change the direction of the trajectory in the body in an undirected manner, and the collision-like movement mode causes a greater cavity effect on the human body. Although the 92 type cannot be equipped with a silencer, it is just right to intimidate living people. At this time, in the M country across the sea, a little white mouse in the research institute broke the experimental equipment, got into the sewer and escaped. Just after the little white mouse was taken out, the soldier set fire to the entire research institute and burned everything, but it was still a step too late. If it was a few minutes earlier, this disaster might have been stillborn. But there are not so many ifs in reality. The little white mouse that escaped from the sewer of the research institute began to hunt other mice in the sewer. 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 4 to 4, and the number of infected mice increased rapidly. The infected mice had red eyes and were manic and aggressive. Finally, when the number reached a certain level, there was no uninfected creature in the sewer, and the mice were no longer satisfied with the sewer and began to flock to the outside world. Chapter 16, First Level Combat Readiness. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Disaster begins. Infected rats poured out of pipes and manhole covers. At this time, ordinary people in Country M were spontaneously marching on the streets because of Kate Smith's video, holding banners announcing the truth and drawing zombie patterns. Walking down the street. We need the truth. We have a right to know the truth. Wait. What is that? The people who were marching discovered the black rats pouring out from everywhere, and screamed in panic. You can imagine the fear on the faces of the marching public when they find rats emerging from manhole covers or sewer pipes around the road. However, the tens of thousands of rats that have swarmed into the street don't care how many there are. If they catch a person, they will gnaw desperately, or many rats will surround a person and gnaw. Soon, the people who are marching will flee the street in a panic, but there are so many rats. Once the marchers start to panic and start to lose their way, the outcome is already doomed. FK, don't block the road, get out of here. Run, don't stop. The scene became even more chaotic, with trampling and pushing. At this time, the first batch of people bitten or scratched by the infected rats also mutated into zombies and joined the ranks of infected people. The police who were maintaining the parade also pull out your pistol or shotgun and shoot the rats. Help! Help! There's a riot on K Street, please help. Help me. I don't want to die, please, I don't want to die. Kill me, I don't want to become that kind of monster, kill me quickly. The police are asking for help from the police station, ordinary people are calling for help, and some infected people are asking the police to kill them. The scene became even more chaotic. As the number of infections rose rapidly, the fire line formed by the police began to be unable to hold on. No. I obviously hit his heart, why doesn't he die? It was obvious that the policeman was so panicked that he forgot that the head was the zombie's weak point. Soon the police's line of fire could no longer be maintained, and the bullets ran out. The police finished shooting the bullets they brought and fell into a ceasefire. At the same time, the zombies and rats broke through the police's firepower, and the rats that emerged from the sewers were not just on K Street. Infected rats also appeared on J Street and L Street next door. The same scene was staged on different streets. Soon, J Street, K Street, and L Street were all destroyed in a very short period of time, and the number of infections soared rapidly. As mentioned before, it only takes 1 minute for this virus to turn into a zombie from infection. Audience, the virus spread rapidly around J Street, K Street, and L Street. The police who were evacuating people could not stop the spread of the virus. Help! Help! Infections are starting to appear on M Street and N Street. Infected people are also starting to appear on G, H, and L Streets. No! Get away, you monsters! Apparently the police officer who was reporting was caught. If you look at the city from above, people are running around in panic on the street, and then they are knocked down and infected by zombies. There are also people driving cars and driving rampantly, but in the end they also hit the side of the road and were killed by the zombies from inside the car. They were pulled out and eaten, and some people used guns to randomly shoot them. Instead of killing the zombies, they hit ordinary people. Some people started robbing shops and raping people instead of running for their lives, which clearly demonstrated the bad nature of human nature. By this time, more than 1 million people had become zombies and the number was rising, and the chaos continued to escalate. The authorities of Country M finally realized the seriousness and sent troops to begin garrisoning the city. However, they soon discovered that it was too late. When the army entered, the city had already entered a state of complete paralysis. The roads were so congested with vehicles that armored vehicles and tanks could not drive in. Even if the tanks pushed in, it would be of no use because the city had been declared fully infected and the survival rate of survivors was less than 5%, and zombies have formed an overwhelming swarm, with millions of zombies beginning to charge the army. The overwhelming sight of millions of zombies pouring out of the army frightened the army that was trying to find a way to enter the city. It was really boundless at a glance. Although they resisted desperately, they were still defeated in numbers. Country M was the first. An army infantry division was completely wiped out. There are also reports of zombies appearing in other cities, because the virus infects not only animals but also birds. Country M declared a state of emergency, each state declared independence, and the National Guard in each state began to block the borders, but it was useless. They still could not stop the attack of zombies. All the zombies flying in the sky, running on the ground, and swimming in the water were killed. Presence of infection, states have declared emergencies one after another. When other countries saw this situation, they immediately closed their borders and prohibited entry and exit at will. The World Health Organization, WHO, also conducted a global announcement confirming the zombie virus and also called on everyone to quarantine at home. Country Z, where Kai Wenjie is located, also announced the closure of its borders and advised all people not to go out for the time being and to be prepared to stay at home for a long time, and the people also supported it. However, another grain-gathering activity started, and a large number of people began to enter supermarkets and shopping malls to stock up on goods, grain, salt, etc. Some people buy more, and some buy less, but basically they all buy a little. Kai Wenjie remembers that the first outbreak case in Country Z was in a southern city near the sea, then other cities near the sea, and then inland. At this time, the news started to play on the TV. Dear audience friends, an urgent message is here. The country has issued a red emergency alert after the decision of the state XX. The country has entered the first level of combat readiness. Please believe in the country, we will definitely get through it. What is the first level of combat readiness? Kai Wenjie has seen it on the internet before. The combat readiness status is divided into 4 levels. The so-called first level of combat readiness is the combat readiness status of the troops when the situation has become white-hot and the signs of war against our country are very obvious. The main tasks of the troops: enter the pre-war combat readiness mobilization. Combat readiness duty personnel are on duty day and night, and the radio command network listens all the time to ensure uninterrupted command. Use various reconnaissance methods to closely monitor the enemy's movements, carry out emergency expansion. Combat readiness reserve forces and military district combat readiness duty forces. According to the wartime establishment, the required equipment is given priority to the replenishment capacity. Complete the position allocation, implement various guarantees, evacuate and conceal the troops, weapons, and equipment. The left-behind institutions organize personnel to evacuate to the designated area, improve the action plan, complete all pre-war preparations, and the troops are on standby. The city is under martial law, and the army takes over public security activities. All weapons and equipment are loaded with live ammunition, missiles are put into launch pads, and the Ministry of National Defense will issue orders to all combat troops, logistics support troops and other departments to be ready for battle at any time. Soldiers are fully armed and ready to rush to the front line at any time, and combat readiness personnel are on duty 24 hours a day. It seems that the country is also serious. Chapter 17 System Tasks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kai Wenjie was very satisfied with the country's approach. Let's put it this way. Although other countries in the world have also closed their borders, only a few have entered a state of war preparedness, not to mention the highest level of first-level war preparedness. After all, they are afraid that the United States wants to perish together, so they must guard against it. Kai Wenjie stared at the TV and communicated with the system in his mind. System, please list the tasks. Receive. Task 1. First kill. D-level task, task target. Kill 10 zombies. Task introduction. The desperate end of the world has finally begun. All the strong men in the end of the world start by killing zombies. As the owner of the system, you will definitely be extraordinary in the future. As the first step out of the end of the world, kill 10 zombies to prove yourself. Task reward, points *1000. Full set of individual tactical equipment type 1*1. Task 2, good or evil. D-level mission, mission objective. Optional, help a survivor in crisis. Optional, kill a survivor. Mission reward, points *1000. Barrett M99 sniper rifle *1. Mission introduction. In the end times when the law collapses, whether to be good or evil is all up to you. Choose whether to be a good person who helps others or a bad person who does all kinds of evil. Mission 3, gold. Gold. D-level mission, mission objective. Obtain gold worth more than 1,000 points. Mission reward, points *1000.1 kilogram of gold bars *5. Mission introduction. Gold is always hard currency at any time. Go, the unmanned gold is waiting for you. After seeing the tasks arranged, Kai Wenjie asked the system curiously. System, you can't say that these 3 tasks are 3 choices, right? Report to the leader. the system tasks are to make the leader grow faster, so there are no restrictions and no penalties. You can complete 3 tasks at the same time, or you can complete 1 task alone. After listening to the system's answer, Kai Wenjie nodded secretly and asked again. How often does this task refresh? If I accept the task and it reaches the refresh time, will it be refreshed? Please rest assured, the leader will not be refreshed after accepting the task, unless you give up the task. The task refresh time is the 1st of each month. On the 1st of each month, except for the accepted tasks, other unaccepted tasks will be refreshed, and a maximum of 3 tasks will be displayed each time. As for the content of the tasks, the system will arrange them reasonably according to the situation of the leader. There will be no tasks that will definitely kill you. Please rest assured. If the task cannot be completed, you can directly give up the task without punishment. This system is simply a caring little cotton jacket, the kind of pure cotton, unlike the systems in other novels, which are always obliterated, and are simply ruthless harvesting machines. On the contrary, although Kai Wenjie's system is not as powerful as the systems in other novels, it is indeed the most suitable system for the current situation. After finishing the communication with the system in his mind, Kai Wenjie turned to look at his parents. Mom and Dad, let's say goodbye to the people we know while we still have some time. After the zombie outbreak in a few days, we can basically only stay in the village. After hearing what their son said, Kai's father and mother felt that it made sense. They also contacted their friends and agreed to have a farewell dinner together tomorrow, and the location was still the service building. Kai Wenjie also supported his parents' decision, because the first zombie outbreak in Z country was on January 2nd, which is tomorrow, and the location was at the CL airport in FZ City, a coastal city in the south, which is far away from here. The location of the first zombie outbreak in YJ City where Kai Wenjie is located is unknown. It is only known that it was at 10 a.m. on January 3rd. This forced Kai Wenjie to give up his original plan to eliminate the first zombie outbreak. Seeing Kai's father and mother talking to friends and relatives, Kai Wenjie left the living room and returned to his room on the 3rd floor to take a break. He had done what he should do and what he shouldn't do. Now he had to wait until the zombie virus broke out in the city, and then he could go into the city to hunt and complete the mission. At the same time, in the Municipal Public Security Bureau of YJ City, the Public Security Bureau Director Li Jianjun received an order from above. From 3 p.m., the whole city will be formally taken over by the army and military control will be implemented. The Public Security Bureau and its subordinate police stations must do their best to assist the army in completing the takeover. This year, 40-year-old Li Jianjun heard for the first time that the city was to be under military control. It happened that Li Jianjun knew the military chief who took over the city this time. When he was in the army, the chief was Li Jianjun's squad leader. They trained and slept together. Later, when he retired from the army, Li Jianjun chose to be a policeman, and then made unimaginable efforts for others to step by step to his current position. The troops that were about to take over the city were local guard troops, which were originally stationed in YJ. This time, they were ordered by the JL Provincial Military Region of the Northern Theater to officially take over YJ City and implement military control at 3 p.m. The military chief in charge of this operation was named Zhang Fugua, who was 45 years old this year, with a rank of colonel and was also the head of the Air Force Regiment. Zhang Fugua, who was handling military affairs in the office, suddenly received an urgent order from above, ordering the military control of each defense zone. Although he was a little confused, Zhang Fugua didn't think too much about it. Soldiers must obey orders. Soon, under Zhang Fugua's order, the troops gathered urgently and entered the city on time at 3 p.m. We began to fortify major intersections and issue announcements, asking people to stay at home. Except for purchasing necessary daily necessities and important matters, they were not allowed to go out at any time. The public security organs also began to assist the army in calming the people. We also began to conduct door-to-door visits and conduct population registration records so that no household would be left behind when rationing supplies in the future. At this time, Kai Wenjie had just woken up and realized that it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. When he went downstairs, he found his father familiarizing himself with the pistol, and his mother was washing vegetables and seemed to be ready to finish cooking. just as he was about to go to the kitchen to get a drink of water, the iron door outside the house rang. After signaling Dad Kai to hide the gun with his eyes, Kai Wenjie put on his shoes and walked out of the house towards the iron gate in Yanzli. "Here, who is it?" Kai Wenjie shouted as he walked, and a gentle and clear female voice came from outside the house. "Hello, I am a police officer from Xingguan Police Station. I am here to confirm the population. Please open the door." Hearing the sound outside the iron gate, Kai Wenjie opened the iron gate and found a female police officer wearing a police uniform outside the iron gate. This female police officer had short shoulder-length hair, a beautiful and dignified appearance, and a smile on her lips. The iron door opened, and the original smile became gentler. The policewoman's name is Hua Lan'er. She just graduated from the police academy and was assigned to a rural police station. This is her third month of working here and her first time going out to work. "Hello, I am a police officer from Xingguan Police Station. This is my ID." With that said, Hua Lan'er took out her ID from the pocket of her police uniform and showed her identity to Kai Wenjie. Chapter 18, Visit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kai Wenjie looked for a while and found nothing wrong, so he nodded and asked. "Excuse me, what's the matter?" Hua Lan'er's heart skipped a beat when she saw the appearance of the man in front of her. She took back her police officer certificate and said with a blush. "That's it. I need to register the population in the house so that I can distribute supplies evenly in the future and confirm whether the head of the household is at home. If there is no one at home, I need to register in time." Hua Lan'er means that if relief materials are distributed in the future, in order to avoid the situation where one household receives more than one person, some people will not be able to receive the materials. Also, from now on, it is forbidden to go out unless there is something important or to buy daily necessities. However, because this is a village and the population is not large, it is fine as long as you do not leave the village. Not in the city. The city has restricted going out. Kai Wenjie listened to Hua Lan'er's announcement and nodded to show that he understood. Hua Lan'er took out her notebook and pen, looked sideways at the address number written outside the door, and began to record it in her notes. "There are 3 people in my family, namely my father Kai Shofu, my mother Li Fongjin, and myself. My name is Kai Wenjie. This is my grandparents' house. We came back here from the city to celebrate the new year and pay homage to the 2 elderly people." While Kai Wenjie was talking, Hua Lan'er also started taking notes. After taking notes, Hua Lan'er turned the notebook to what was written at the end. After writing, she tore off the paper and handed it to Kai Wenjie. "Well, I have written it all down. Here, this is my phone number. If anything happens, call here and I will come to help. By the way, I will come here at the same time every day to confirm the number of people. It's okay. If it's going to happen, I'll go to the next one. Goodbye." After saying hello to Hua Lan'er, he walked to the next house, and Kai Wenjie also closed the iron door. After returning to the house, I thought about it and handed the note to my mother. "Mom, take it. If something happens while I'm away, call this number. Someone should come to help." Immediately, Kai Ma smiled like an ant, as if she understood something, and agreed. "Don't worry, son, leave this matter to your mother and me. I will arrange everything for you." Kai Wenjie's head was filled with questions after what Kai's mother said. Kai Wenjie originally wanted to ask Kai's mother to call the policewoman to save her life and complete the task when the zombie virus broke out in the city, but how could this be heard? Something is wrong. However, Kai Wenjie didn't take it too seriously, shrugged and sniffed. "Mom, what's messed up? Is there any?" "Oops, I stewed chicken with mushrooms." Kai's mother looked panicked and hurriedly entered the kitchen and started to make repairs. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit." Kai Wenjie went up to the second floor and greeted Father Kai. "Okay, no need to hide, the police are leaving." After hearing Kai Wenjie's words, Kai Shofu's tense and stiff body relaxed. To be honest, Kai Shofu has always been a good and law-abiding citizen in the past, but now he openly carries weapons at home. It would be a lie to say that he is not nervous. When Kai Wenjie went to open the door, Kai Shofu hid the gun under the sofa, then carefully moved to the window, exposed one eye and observed secretly. When he saw the police, Kai Shofu hid it even more carefully. I didn't dare to make a sound, afraid of being discovered and arrested, and because he was afraid that someone would be discovered if he observed for a long time, Kai Shofu took a quick look and quickly sat on the sofa with the TV remote control in one hand, staring at the TV, pretending to be watching TV seriously, but if someone is watching, they will find that the remote control in Kai's father's hand is reversed, and he is still looking at the female sanitary napkin GG. If he looks seriously and does not read the content, he will believe that he is learning from Kai Wenjie. By the way, let me tell you that the policeman will visit you every day from now on. Kai Shofu's body that had just relaxed began to stiffen again. Seeing this scene, Kai Wenjie shook his head in amusement. It's okay, Dad, just relax, you'll get used to it. After saying that, he grabbed the remote control from Father Kai's hand, changed the TV signal to wireless network mode, and started looking for movies to watch. Dad, I'll find a zombie movie for you. You can read it for reference. Then Kai Wenjie started to play the movie World War Z. To be honest, the zombies in World War Z are very similar to the zombies that will appear in the future. With the same rapid infection, the zombies run extremely fast and can build zombie walls and climb walls. Although real zombies will not stack up zombies as exaggeratedly as in the movie wall, but they will also trample under their feet those who are unlucky enough to fall and use them as stepping stones. Father Kai was watching indifferently, but he was obviously shocked after the zombies appeared. Wenjie, are all these zombies so cruel? That at this time, the movie was showing a scene of a man in a red coat who was infected and turned into a zombie in less than 10 seconds, Kai Wenjie watched with interest from the side. Hearing Father Kai's obviously surprised words, he thought about it and said this. Absolutely, but the time from being infected to turning into a zombie is not that fast. The 10 seconds in the movie is a bit exaggerated. It should be 1 minute. Of course, the words 10 years later would be almost 10 seconds like the movie. Kai Wenjie didn't say this because he didn't want Kai's father to be too desperate. If Kai's father could hear what Kai Wenjie was thinking, he would definitely complain. It wouldn't make a big difference, it would only give him 50 seconds more life. No matter what his father's expression was, Kai Wenjie was still watching the movie. He laughed out loud when he saw the scene where the doctor fell and committed suicide. He still holds a gun like this. He even shot himself. He is so talented, ha 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 ha. Dad, don't learn from him. Practice your gun well, or I won't recognize you. Kai Wenjie joked with his father, asking him to remember the importance of gun safety. Seeing his father nod and agree to learn well, Kai Wenjie continued to watch the movie. The plot came to the plot where the protagonist went to Israel. Accompanied by local officials, he visited the separation wall built for the end of the world. The Gate of Redemption in Jerusalem is 50 meters high and 2 meters wide, with 10 exits. To be honest, Kai Wenjie also wants this kind of arrangement around the village. Although the village is surrounded by mountains and cliffs on 3 sides, one more insurance means one more point of safety, right? Then in the plot, a woman took a microphone to lead people to sing together, which led to the zombies to build a zombie wall and climb over the wall. Kai Wenjie was speechless. There are such stupid people in the world. Knowing that zombies rely on hearing, they still make such a loud noise. If someone really did this in reality, in order to protect his own safety, Kai Wenjie would definitely kill the woman first. After watching the rest of the plot, Kai Wenjie heard the sound of his mother eating downstairs, turned off the TV and went downstairs to eat with Kai's father. Chapter 19 Wedding. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After dinner, Kai Wenjie helped Kai's mother wash the dishes and returned to her room. System, are you selling walls? It's the kind of wall just like in the movie. Kai Wenjie asked with some expectation, and sure enough. Sell. But it's not the kind in the movie, it's a portable isolation wall. The wall is made of special materials. It is 10 meters high and 2 meters wide. The wall can protect against explosions caused by 10 kilograms of C4 explosives. It sells for 1,000 points per meter. It's true. List the data and I'll take a look. Kai Wenjie touched his chin and said. Receive. Name, MNL type portable separation wall, introduction. It is built using special materials, with a height of 10 meters and a width of 2 meters. Because of the use of special materials, the wall can defend against attacks by high explosives below 100 kilograms, price, 1,000 points per meter, width 2 meters. Where to place machine gun forts to form crossfire, or sniper points, etc. Although it is a bit expensive, it is worth it. Kai Wenjie instantly thought that this wall could be used as a fortress. Is there a door on the wall of the system? It is best to use a safety door made of the same material, the kind that can allow large trucks to enter and exit. Then Kai Wenjie discovered that another product had come out, name, MNL type convenient electric door for partition wall, introduction. The electric door is specially used for the MNL type portable separation wall. It uses the same material. The same wall can resist the attack of high explosives of 100 kilograms and less. The door is an automatic door that is centered in the middle and telescopes to the left and right sides. The length of the door can be controlled. Price, 5,000 points per unit. Kai Wenjie plans to build a concave separation wall against the mountain at the exit of the village after he has accumulated some points. Trucks and pedestrians can pass in the middle. When zombies attack, he will close the door and shoot the people on the wall. At the same time, Jean Peng was attending the wedding of his comrades. Although military control began this afternoon, the wedding was still allowed to take place, but after the wedding, everyone had to go home and could not stay. The groom's name at the wedding was Sun Jinbao, and the bride's name was Chu Li. They had been together since junior high school, and now they are finally married after 15 years. As a comrade and brother, Jean Peng naturally would not miss this wedding, so he came to YJ overnight from LN. He was accompanied by a comrade named Nguojun, who also shared the joys and sorrows. Sun Jinbao, who was originally a tough-blooded man at the wedding, is now smiling and wearing groom's clothes and toasting with the bride everywhere. The toast soon reached the table where Jean Peng and Nguojun were sitting. Jean Peng looked at Sun Jinbao, who was toasting in an awkward manner. He looked at each other and Njungwa laughed, and teased Sun Jinbao. What's wrong? You can only drink so much. Where are you raising fish? Come and have a drink with me. As he said this, he picked up the glass of wine and drank a glass of wine. When the groom saw it, he downed the wine in his hand without saying anything. He looked at each other and said nothing. Nguojun next to him also picked up the wine glass. Brother Bao, there is nothing much to say as brothers. I wish you a happy marriage forever. Have a happy and sweet marriage. May you be happy, passionate, and grow old together. After saying that, he downed the wine he was holding. Sun Jinbao took a new wine glass and simmered it with Nguojun. The bride also smiled and took a sip. After drinking, Sun Jinbao stretched out his right arm and clenched his hand into a fist. Jean Peng and Njungwa also stretched out their fists. The three of them bumped their fists together and shouted the slogans they used to shout. Work together and fight tenaciously, I am invincible. The wedding scene was startled by the noise caused by the three people, but no one jumped out to say anything. They just secretly envied this kind of brotherhood. In this way, the wedding ended with everyone's laughter. Jean Peng and Njungwa returned to the hotel where they were staying. Because they were too drunk, they fell unconscious as soon as they entered the room. In this way, Country Z spent its last safe time. Next day, Kai Wenjie still got up on time at 7 o'clock. After washing up, I went to the first floor to say hello to my parents. Good morning, Mom and Dad, how did you sleep yesterday? After saying that, he naturally opened the table and sat on it. He picked up the chopsticks in his right hand and the bowl in his left hand, and started to eat breakfast. In the morning, he ate rice porridge with kimchi and mustard. It was light, but the porridge warmed the stomach and was good for the body. Stop talking. Your dad didn't sleep all night yesterday. He kept tampering with the pistol you gave him. He was so annoying. Kai's mother complained, but Kai Wenjie suddenly felt a little sour. It seemed that Kai's father had been playing with guns yesterday, so he should be jealous of pistols. Mom, something is wrong with you, Kai Wenjie thought to himself. Was the gun fired too early? I don't have one. I'm not studying this gun to protect you. From now on, your safety will be entrusted to me. I will always protect you. Father Kai said this righteously, but Mother Kai blushed when she heard what Father Kai said. What nonsense are you talking about? The child is still here, you old man is not ashamed. As he spoke, he lightly hit Kai's father on the arm with his hand. What's wrong with having a child? You are my wife. Isn't it my duty to protect you? Even if the emperor comes, you are still my favorite wife. I love you, my wife. Father Kai looked directly into Mother Kai's eyes with serious eyes, which made Mother Kai's face turn red with embarrassment. Looking at this scene, Kai Wenjie suddenly felt full. Kai Wenjie really didn't expect that he would actually show off his dog food in front of his son. I wonder if your son is still single. Angry, Kai Wenjie brought all the remaining porridge in the pot in front of him and drank it all. After drinking, Kai Wenjie burped and left the table. Kai's father and mother had been in their own world since the beginning and didn't notice Kai Wenjie at all. If Kai Wenjie knew that his behavior just now was not only not focusing on him, but also being ignored, he would never give up. Kai Wenjie returned to the room, took out his mobile phone and began to check the panoramic view of YJ, and recorded various information in his notebook. Now Kai Wenjie was checking the map of the locations of gold shops and banks in YJ City. After all, there are still tasks related to gold. If you do it well in advance, you can be more efficient when you start. It took an hour for Kai Wenjie to lock all the gold shops and banks in YJ City, and wrote down the locations of all the gold shops and banks, ready to try to fish in troubled waters when the zombies break out tomorrow. At this time, Tokyo, our country, people started their day's work. Office workers wore suits and squeezed into crowded trams, enduring the crowds while catching up on sleep. Students also began to wear school uniforms and walk to school. When they met friends on the road, they would greet each other and walk together in groups of 3 or 2. The efficiency of the government of country is obvious to all. This time, they delayed as much as possible, which is also an important reason for the fall of this narrow island country, because some things floating from the sea, if not prevented, will soon become a disaster. Chapter 20 Country R. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In a port in Tokyo, our country, a giant cargo ship is docked at the port, and the workers in the port are using container cranes to bring the containers on board one by one. Murakami Kinzuya is a truck driver. Today, he was tasked with transporting a livestock container to a slaughterhouse in Tokyo. Murakami Kinzuya waited for the crane to load the container onto his truck, and took this opportunity to chat with other truck drivers. Yamashita-kun, did you see that video yesterday? I have to say that the current film technology is getting more and more powerful. The video yesterday was just like reality. If there had been no notification until now, I would have believed it. The person chatting with Murakami Kinzuya is called Yamashita Tomoki, who is also a truck driver. Like Murakami Kinzuya, he is also waiting for the crane to load the container onto the truck. Which zombie video is Murakami talking about? But which one is not a movie trailer? Yesterday I also lamented that American film technology has reached a new level. I originally thought that I would definitely go to watch it when it is released. The two people who were discussing yesterday's video enthusiastically did not believe that the video was real. The reason was still the our country authorities, because of the our country authorities' attitude of delaying as much as possible and information blockade. Obviously, the United States has fallen for a day, but the people of our country are still unaware and continue to live ordinary every day. Even if some people believe in yesterday's video, they will not inform others, but just make preparations silently. As for why, we also need to talk about the deformed social culture of our country. In our country society, if a person is too outstanding, he will be bullied. Not knowing how to read the atmosphere and not being sociable are just a small problem in our eyes, but for our people, these are the most unforgivable things. Everyone will stay away from such people, or bully these people. Even if a person is too outstanding, he will be bullied by people around him, because he is not sociable and does not know how to read the atmosphere. Isn't it ridiculous? But this is the social rule of our country now, so even if they knew the video was real, no one would tell others. At this time, Kanzuya's container had been loaded onto the back of the truck. After Kanzuya said goodbye to Yamashita, he went to the back to check the goods as usual. If there was no accident, he could leave. At this time, the container behind Kanzuya's truck suddenly began to shake violently with the screams of the cow, which frightened Kanzuya and stopped. At this time, the screams of the cow stopped and the container stopped shaking. Kanzuya wiped the sweat from his face, took another step, came to the container behind the truck, swallowed, and opened the lock. Kanzuya was stunned by the scene in front of him when he opened the door of the container. The 12 high-quality wagyu that should have been alive were now all lying on the ground, with cow blood and cow viscera everywhere, as if they were bitten to death by a monster. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. Kanzuya, who was stunned by the scene in front of him, did not see something hidden in the shadow. When he came to his senses and turned around to call the police, the thing hidden in the shadow suddenly rushed out, hung on Kanzuya's back, and then bit him. Kanzuya took out his mobile phone and just put his fingers on the keys. He felt a pain in his back and screamed involuntarily, and the thing biting Kanzuya's back also revealed its true face. It turned out to be a cat. It should have been a lovable cat. Now you can clearly see that half of the cat's face is completely exposed to flesh and blood. The hair that should have been soft now has no softness at all, and it has been mixed with blood and turned into lumps and smells of blood. It has turned into a zombie cat, and Kanzuya's screams also attracted nearby drivers. The drivers heard the sound and rushed to Kanzuya. "Hurry up and take the thing behind me away!" Kanzuya screamed and asked for help from the people around him, but the people around him were terrified when they saw the zombie cat behind Kanzuya, so no one went up to help. "Kanzuya-kun, hold on, I'll call the police for you." "Kanzuya-kun, lie down and hold it down." People who didn't dare to go up to help could only say this, while the drivers were hesitating. The virus had completely transformed Kanzuya into a zombie. Kanzuya stopped screaming, and the zombie cat that was biting Kanzuya pulled its mouth out and left behind Kanzuya. Kanzuya and the cat began to attack the people around them. "Kanzuya-kun. Stop, I'm Yamashita, Pull it away quickly, it hurts." Kanzuya, who had turned into a zombie, attacked Yamashita Tomoki, who was originally his friend, and the zombie cat attacked another driver. At this time, the cows that were bitten to death in the container stood up again, rushed out of the container, and began to attack the people around them. In this way, the port was completely occupied in a short period of time, and the zombies inside set their sights on Tokyo and began to march towards Tokyo. Tokyo has a population of about 13.5 million, and it is now working hours. The subways, roads, and vehicles are all crowded with people going to work, and crowding is the norm. The zombies that broke out in the port attacked more people along the way. The number of zombies has exceeded 10,000 and reached Tokyo. The disaster broke out. The zombies attacked vehicles and pedestrians on the crowded roads, and some zombies chased people into the subway station, causing people waiting for the subway to be killed, and some zombies entered high-rise buildings or buildings, killing and eating to their heart's content. The originally crowded roads became empty, and vehicles lost control and crashed into buildings or had car accidents. And screams kept coming from the buildings on both sides of the road. The country authorities never thought that Tokyo would fall in such a short time. Only then did they start to urgently notify various TV stations and issue disaster alerts, but it was too late. The zombies in Tokyo have begun to infect the surrounding areas. Our country has also followed the footsteps of country, and they are really worthy of being father and son. A girls' high school in Tokyo. "Yukiko, run. Wait for me, Ami, don't leave me behind." Two high school girls who look 17 years old are escaping from the pursuit of zombies one after another. Finally, at the corner of the school, Yukiko and Ami hid in the bushes at the corner, while the zombies continue to run aimlessly in front of them. After all, the situation like Yukiko and Ami is still a minority. Other high school girls are either infected in the classroom or infected or eaten by zombies in other places. In a trading company in Tokyo. Section Chief, try harder, will be on the roof soon, and will be saved. A tall and thin country social person wearing glasses and a suit was whispering to the fat man behind him, but the man called the section chief did not move, and the tall and thin employee who was climbing the stairs in front of him turned his head strangely, and the last memory stopped at the moment when he jumped towards him with his mouth wide open. Chapter 21, Countdown to Loss of Control. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Kai Wenjie finished breakfast, he returned to the living room and lay down on the sofa in the same posture as Guyu. He picked up the TV remote control and turned on the news channel. The news reported that a zombie outbreak occurred in the capital of country this morning. Read. According to reports, at 8 o'clock this morning, a zombie outbreak occurred in Tokyo City of country. Tokyo and surrounding cities have fallen. At the same time, a zombie outbreak also occurred in Busan City of country. Kai Wenjie, who was watching the news reports, did some calculations in his mind and looked at the time, 9 am. That's almost it. Now it's time for a zombie outbreak to happen in the south. As soon as he finished speaking, the host who was reporting the news on the TV suddenly paused, took out a piece of manuscript from the right, and began to read, Taiwan Novel Network. Urgent interrupt, a zombie attack has occurred at CL Airport in FC City in southern my country. All citizens of FC City are asked to go home as soon as possible, close the doors and windows, and be prepared for precautions. Repeat this. Please all citizens of FC City as soon as possible. Go home, close the doors and windows, and be prepared. The host reported what just happened in a very fast tone. Viewers, let us pray for our compatriots in the south and hope that they can survive. Finally, the host put his hands together and began to pray. At this time, the CL Airport in FC City. Stop these zombies from entering the city, target them and hit them. There was loud gunfire here. The most mobile armed police and special police among the security forces in FC City arrived at the scene within 5 minutes of the zombie attack at the airport. However, they arrived too late. People in the airport had become zombies. In order to prevent the zombies from entering the city, the armed police officers who arrived first began to attack the zombies. However, the armed police and special police together only numbered more than 100 people. Facing tens of thousands of zombies, they could not stop them for long. Maybe if these tens of thousands are real humans, it might be possible, but they are all zombies, and unless they are killed with a single blow to the head, they are not easy to eliminate. Many zombies who squeezed out of the airport gate were shot through the head by bullets and fell to the ground before they could stabilize their feet. Hold on. Hold on. There will be support soon, just hold on. A man with a 3-star banner on his shoulder named Chu. He was the commander of the first company of the local army. Chu, he shouted loudly while shooting. Here it is said that one bar with 3 stars is a captain, and generally only company commander level figures will be awarded lieutenant or captain, because there are only 3 exits at the airport. Although it was a bit difficult to resist, I still managed to survive. As long as I persisted, there would be a steady stream of support from behind. Just when Chu thought he could hold on for at least a few minutes, cracks began to appear in the glass next to the airport entrance, and the cracks were getting bigger and more numerous as the zombies inside continued to crowd in. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. Company commander. Glass. The glass is cracked. A sharp-eyed SWAT officer saw cracks starting to appear near the airport and shouted in horror. What? Chuha quickly looked at Glass, and Glass responded, with a click. The glass finally couldn't support the weight of the huge number of zombies, and exploded with a crash. As the glass exploded, the zombies inside, which were originally crowded like sardines in a can, spewed out as if they had found an exit. In an instant, the armed police, who originally only had to deal with 3 exits, dispersed their firepower and could no longer hold on. They were instantly surrounded by zombies. No way, everyone get on the bus, we evacuate, cut off the first row, others get on the bus, hurry. Following the company commander Chuhi's order to retreat, the second and third platoons quickly boarded the vehicle in an orderly manner, while the first platoon stopped controlling ammunition and fired out as quickly as possible. After the second and third rows got on the bus, Chuhi ordered again. Everyone in the row throws grenades, retreat. Following Chu He's order, Lian, who was still resisting, quickly took out a high-explosive grenade, removed the safety and threw it out. As the grenade exploded, the company quickly boarded the military vehicle and then began to withdraw from the airport. At this time, a loud noise suddenly appeared in the sky. Along with the loud noise, fighter planes appeared, and the Air Force was dispatched. This time the squadron was dispatched, that is, for fighter jets. The fighter jets flew over the retreating Chuha company, and after arriving at the airport, they launched air-to-ground missiles. Each of the 4 fighter jets fired 4 KD-88 missiles, a total of 16 rounds, totally destroyed CL Airport. However, zombies across the ocean began to appear one after another on other coasts, and began to attack passers-by. The countdown to the fall of the South has begun. At this time, Kai Wenjie was greeting Hua Laner, the policewoman who came to confirm the situation. "Good morning, Officer Hua, thank you for starting work so early. It's all about serving the people. It doesn't matter. I don't have to work hard. Thank you." Kai Wenjie smiled after hearing this. After thinking about it, he went back to the kitchen and took 2 buns. "Have you eaten? If not, here are the buns my mother made this morning. They are stuffed with chives and eggs. They are very delicious. Come and try one." Kai Wenjie handed the bun to Hua Laner. No, I've had breakfast. Thank you for your kindness." Hua Laner shook her head and refused. "I have to go to the next one to confirm, so I won't delay. I will come again tomorrow, bye." After Hua Laner ticked a box in a notebook, she closed it, waved to Kai Wenjie, and left. Kai Wenjie looked at Hua Laner who was going away, looked at the buns in his hand, shrugged his shoulders, and ate 1 bun at a time. After closing the iron door, Kai Wenjie returned to the living room. "Dad, it's okay, she's gone." After hearing this, Kai's father breathed a sigh of relief, patted the sofa where the gun was hidden, picked up the tea in front of him and drank it slowly, turning his head to look at the TV. It was still the same host. According to the latest reports, zombies have begun to appear in coastal cities in southern my country. Citizens in the following places, please stay at home, store food and water, lock the door and wait for information. And zombies are extremely sensitive to sound, so citizens must not make noise at home. The army will deal with zombies. Please believe in our army, and we will definitely get through the difficulties together. The host on TV used that broadcasting voice to give others hope, but the army cannot eliminate the zombies without weapons of mass destruction, but wants to use weapons of mass destruction. Citizens must be evacuated first, and there must be enough time to evacuate citizens, but time is the most lacking thing now. Every minute and every second, someone is infected with the virus and turned into a zombie. The army deployed firepower at the intersection or on the roof of the building to resist the zombies from entering the city, but it still couldn't stop the rats in the sewers. The rats went into the building along the sewers, came out from the toilets and sewers in the building, and attacked the survivors in the house. It was simply impossible to defend against. Chapter 22 City Wall. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Whatever happened in the south, Kai Wenjie in the north could only get information through the news. Read, looking at the increasingly abnormal expressions of the news anchors and the news that the defense line continued to retreat, everyone knew that it was out of control. The army failed to stop the invasion of the virus and could only transfer its combat power and give priority to protecting important facilities, for example, nuclear power plants, reservoirs, signal towers and other infrastructure to ensure that water and electricity will not be cut off, and military facilities, such as military airports, ports and other important facilities. At the same time, concentrate troops to protect the capital and other important cities, and then urgently mobilize workers to build walls outside the city. The army will buy time for the workers and send bombers or ground forces to blast bridges and roads, and these cities that are given priority protection ARE.BJ, SH, WZ, GZ, CY, SY, XL, WLMQ, MK, ZJ, which are the top 10 strategic cities in Z country. These places are all cities with huge value, or military strategy, economy, shipping and other purposes. In order to protect these cities, the authorities did not hesitate to order the bombing of all surrounding bridges or highways to buy time for the construction of city protection walls. Because of this, Kai Wenjie spent more resources to go south in the future, but that's a story for later. The scene of building the wall, the scene was in full swing, and densely packed people were working hard. Because the situation was urgent, the municipal government mobilized all the people who could be mobilized. Except for the old, weak, disabled and young, the rest of the people were mobilized here. No matter what you did before, you are a worker here. People working on the scene have all kinds of occupations, from company bosses to unemployed people. Only in this way can the task of building the city wall be completed when the zombies are moving north quickly. The men are doing high-intensity construction, and the women are doing relatively simple classification and cooking. Although the population of the city is divided into 4 sides, east, west, south and north, the number of people at each city wall manufacturing site has exceeded 3 million. 2 people who are carrying materials at the city wall construction site in the east are chatting. Lao Li, is the wall we built useful? I heard that the number of zombies has exceeded 100 million. Just thinking about it makes my scalp numb. When was that news? The radio just said that 80% of the southern cities have fallen. Now it has reached more than 300 million. The 2 workers chatted while working. Don't be lazy over there. The zombies are about to approach us. If you don't want to become that kind of monster, work quickly. That the supervisor on the side found 2 people chatting and quickly stopped them from chatting, urging them to continue working. The supervisor himself was also doing the work of moving bricks. After hearing this, the 2 did not resist and accelerated their movements. After all, no one wanted to die. These city walls were designed by professionals and designed into giant city walls with a height of 15 meters and a width of 10 meters. Some cities even transformed the original ancient city walls into taller city walls based on local materials. Heavy machine guns, howitzers, flamethrowers and other powerful weapons can be deployed in the city walls, and people can live in the city walls. It is more like a fortress than a city wall. After everyone's intensive efforts, in less than 12 hours, the 4 walls of the east, west, south and north were completed at the same time, and the city was completely wrapped. After 12 hours of intensive labor, although people were exhausted and about to fall down, they smiled. I don't know who started cheering, and everyone started cheering. We succeeded. We can survive. Long live. Long live ZGRMZF. People cheered and laughed. Some people cried excitedly. At the same time, other cities also completed their own city walls. Although the city walls looked different, they were all the same in one thing, that is, they were strong and spectacular. With the cheers of the people, the blocking battle against the zombies in the distance also came to an end, and a large number of soldiers began to retreat in an orderly manner. Bombers, fighters and other air units carried out the last round of bombing. Looking around, there were all zombie corpses here. Some were shot in the head, and some were directly shot out, in order to prevent the corpses from rotting and polluting the earth and to stop the remaining zombies from following. The soldiers deliberately placed flammable items such as solid gasoline bombs when they retreated to burn the corpses to form a flame defense line. That's how today ended. The next day, Kai Wenjie looked at the time, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's time to go to work. Kai Wenjie came to the living room. Dad, Mom, I'm going out for a while. When I'm not here, don't open the door to anyone. If someone knocks on the door, you know what to do, right? Kai Wenjie told his father seriously. If someone wants to break in, just shoot. I know, don't worry, son, I'll leave it to you here. Kai's mother next to him also said with a worried look on her face. Son, be careful, your father and I will wait for you to come back at home. Kai's mother is always the one who worries about Kai Wenjie's safety. Kai Wenjie couldn't help but smile at the worry in his parents' eyes. Perhaps this is the meaning of family. Never worry about betrayal. Always love children, and be willing to give everything just for children. Don't worry, I will be back in the evening. Just prepare dinner and wait for me. After saying this, Kai Wenjie put on his backpack as a cover, walked out of the house, took out the key and boarded the Night 15. With a roar, Kai Wenjie drove away from the village. At this time, a zombie attack occurred in YJ University in YJ City. Students, hurry up. Run, go to the east gate, don't go to the west gate. The west gate is occupied by zombies. A bald man who looked 40 years old was directing some students to flee to the east gate, and some students squeezed forward desperately, some were stunned in place because of fear, and a few looked eager to try. Teacher, you don't have to be afraid, zombies are easy to deal with, just hit the zombies on the head and they will be finished. The boy who said this just now looked eager to try, holding a mop stick in his hand and waving it forward as if he was blowing up the zombie's head. The funny thing is that there are also students who support this approach. They gathered together to discuss how to deal with zombies and show off to gain the admiration of teachers and classmates. The students who were gathered together and shouting loudly didn't notice the zombies running from behind. Although they didn't see it, it didn't mean that others didn't see it. The teacher who was directing the students to run away found the zombies running from behind. Students, be careful behind. Zombies. The teacher who found the zombies warned the male students loudly, asking them to pay attention to the zombies behind. The male students who were pretending to be cool turned their heads and looked behind them after hearing the teacher's voice. A zombie behind them was rushing towards him at the speed of a 100-meter sprint.